Hello, boys and girls, and welcome back to art. We are now doing some virtual learning once again. So what I want to do is tell you about today's project. Today's project is going to take about 3 weeks to do. Now, if you do not have the art supplies today, do not worry. You can watch the video today, and then throughout the week, you can gather some supplies, and you can try to get part 1 finished. Now, I also want to tell you that in art, you can improvise. You do not have to use exactly the same stuff that I'm using, but it does help. So watch the video, see what I'm doing for part 1, and then you'll have a week until we meet again to get it done, okay? So here is what you need for part 1 today. I'm going to be using some plain white paper. If it's thicker, it's better, but I'm going to use thinner paper just to see how it works. I have some scissors, a pencil, and some glue, okay? I'm not sure which one I'm going to use. I think I'll probably end up using the glue stick. I'm also finding in my house something that's round, okay? Now here I happen to have a paper plate, but you can use a plate that's in your cupboard or the edge of a container or something that is round because you're going to be tracing it, okay? All right, so boys and girls, I decided to make our project based around the shape of a cone. Now, a cone is a solid or a hollow object which tapers from a circular or roughly circular base. Now, we all know what a cone looks like. Basically, a pine tree is shaped like a cone, a gnome's hat is shaped like a cone, a traffic cone is the shape of a cone, okay? And one of the things I notice in art is kids have a hard time making a cone. So that's why I decided, let's use this as a learning day to make a cone to start. So here is how I make the cone. I take the plate, which is the round object that I'm going to use, because a cone starts out with a half of a circle. So if I pan you down here, I'm going to take my piece of paper, and I'm going to take my paper plate, find the middle of it. I think I'll turn my paper like that. Okay, just plop it down. And I'm going to trace half of my circle. Okay? Now that I have half the circle, I don't need the plate anymore, actually, that's done. I'm going to cut out half of the circle, just like that. Now, with half the circle, I'm going to bring the two flat sides together and overlap them. And look at that. You got yourself a cone. Pretty cool, right? So I'm going to take the glue, and I hope my glue is still sticky. Yep. I'm going to throw some glue on the one side of the cone. And what you can do is you can figure out how wide you want your cone to be or how narrow you want it to be by sliding the edges back and forth. But I'm going to make mine about that size. And just like that, you've made a cone. Okay, so now that you know how to make a cone, what you need to do is you're going to take a couple sheets of paper, and I think I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to use 5 pieces of paper for this. So what I want to do is I'm going to make 5 cones, but they're going to be big, little smaller, little smaller, little smaller, little smaller, little smaller. Okay? So I'm going to do exactly what I did in my practice cone there and make cone number 1. So take half of a circle. Oops. Trace, cut it, glue it. Okay, so we have cone number 1, cone number 2, cone number 3, cone number 4, and finally cone number 5. Okay, so boys and girls, now that you have your 5 cones created, I want you to take a pencil, and just like we were in school, I want you to write your name on the inside of each. And you can just take them today, and you can stack them in order. That way you keep them safe, and you'll have them for next week for part 2, okay? So if you're making this at home, you have a week to get the 5 cones created, and if you want to do another set of the cones, that's great too. So get this done, and next week we will be together again, and I will show you what we're going to turn these into. Okay, boys and girls? So get busy, get making your cones, and I will see you next week. Have a great day, boys and girls. Bye.